O chosen one. The moment heaven beheld the full imprint upon your life was also the moment a door that had long remained silent began to move. I, Michael, have come to tell you that what is now being prepared is neither a random event nor a reward granted because you were never weak. It is the result of countless days in which you continued walking even when you could not see the road ahead. Certain things were kept hidden, not to confuse you, but because your heart needed to be refined more deeply. Your hands needed to become steadier, and your faith needed to mature enough for you to receive what is coming without losing humility. Many times, you asked why your prayers seemed to disappear into emptiness, why your tears fell while heaven remained silent, and why you still had to endure long seasons without answers, even though you tried to live uprightly. Today, I want you to understand that this silence was never forgetfulness. It was a veil covering a work being completed beyond the reach of your sight. When the angel looked upon your image, what was seen was not merely the features of your face or the outward appearance the world had once judged. In the light of heaven, that image carried every footprint you had left behind. Every night you silently endured, and every moment you were misunderstood, yet still chose not to answer with bitterness. Your name appeared beside chapters of your life that no one had ever fully read. There were sorrows you hid behind a smile so that those around you would not worry. There were times when you gathered yourself from the floor of an empty room, wiped away your tears, and continued doing what needed to be done. There were also moments when you nearly surrendered, yet a quiet voice within urged you to take one more step. All of it was seen. Not one act of silent faithfulness was considered insignificant, and not one good deed performed in secret was lost from heaven's remembrance. When the portrait of your journey was unveiled, what caused the angels to fall silent was not perfection, but the way you continued to preserve your light after seasons in which darkness seemed to have drained you of all strength. You have often believed that strength must always appear fearless, that it must never weep, never tremble, and never admit exhaustion. But I tell you that true strength is sometimes simply waking up the next morning even though your heart was shattered the night before. It is choosing kindness after being treated coldly, keeping your word when no one is watching, and praying for those who wounded you while your own wounds have not yet fully healed. Heaven did not merely witness your obedience, it witnessed something greater: perseverance refined through trial, and a heart that could bend beneath heavy burdens without turning to stone. This is what caused movement to begin. It was not because you proved yourself greater than others, but because you learned how to bow without losing your dignity, how to endure without allowing bitterness to rule you, and how to wait without completely abandoning hope. Therefore, do not assume that the breakthrough approaching you is only a visible gift or an outward change that will astonish others. The first opening will take place within you. You will begin to look at what once frightened you with different eyes. Words that once tormented you will gradually lose their power. Closed doors will no longer make you question your worth, because you will understand that some places were withheld from you only to protect you from a path that was never meant to be yours. I am leading you away from the mindset that constantly forces you to apologize for your presence, away from the habit of making yourself smaller so that others can remain comfortable, and away from relationships that draw upon your light without ever honoring its source. True transformation begins when you no longer beg to be accepted in places that repeatedly caused you to forget who you are. From this inward renewal, The things around you will gradually be rearranged. Some people may leave your life without offering a complete explanation. Certain plans you once pursued with all your heart may suddenly feel distant and unfamiliar. Do not be quick to call this loss. Some things must be removed from your hands because those hands are about to be entrusted with a new responsibility. Certain doors must close because their noise prevents you from hearing the calling coming from another direction. Some seasons must end without a beautiful farewell because you have already spent too much time trying to rescue what no longer carries life. I am not telling you to become cold. I am teaching you to distinguish between compassion and the abandonment of yourself. Love does not mean allowing others to continually cross your boundaries. Forgiveness does not mean restoring access to those who have never respected what is sacred within you. You also need to know that what is coming will require calmness more than excitement. When a promise begins to take form, your first instinct may be to tell everyone, seek confirmation, or explain what is happening. But I advise you to preserve a place of silence. A seed that has just been planted does not need to be dug up every day to prove that it is growing. Some preparations take deeper root when they are protected in stillness. You do not need to turn every movement into an announcement. Not everyone who walked beside you during your season of pain is mature enough to enter your season of responsibility. Some people admire the story of your healing, but do not truly want to see you become strong. Some once comforted you when you were weak. Yet, they may grow uncomfortable when you no longer depend upon their approval. Therefore, allow the results to speak at the proper time. What belongs to you will not require you to fight for it through chaos. In the days ahead, pay closer attention to peace than to signs that stir agitation. What comes from the light will not pressure you through panic, force you to decide in confusion, or make you believe that you will be abandoned if you do not act immediately. True guidance may be powerful, yet it will still carry clarity. It warns without humiliating, corrects without crushing, and urges you forward without stealing your freedom to choose. When you stand before a new opportunity, relationship, or decision, do not merely ask whether it is attractive. Ask whether it makes you more upright, whether it draws you nearer to peace, and whether it helps you live according to the values planted within your heart. Not every door that opens quickly is meant for you, and not every delay is a rejection. Sometimes you are being held back because what lies ahead is not yet ready. At other times, you are the one being prepared so that when you enter, you will not repeat the mistakes of an earlier season. I know you are tired of waiting. There were moments when you watched others move forward and wondered whether your name had been forgotten. There were times when you heard beautiful promises, but no longer had enough courage within you to believe again. I do not condemn you for this weariness. I only ask that you do not use one season of delay to judge your entire journey. Roots grow in darkness before branches appear beneath the sun. What lasts is often built in places where no one applauds. During the months when it seemed that nothing was changing, you learned how to recognize what was false, how to discern who was sincere, what was worth preserving, and what needed to be released. You were not merely waiting for transformation, you became a different person while you waited. This is why the gift approaching you will no longer control you as easily as the things you once pursued. You will know how to use it with wisdom instead of allowing it to become your master. Therefore, my child, lift your head while keeping your heart humble. Do not allow the past to make you suspicious of every good thing. And do not allow expectation to cause you to chase glittering voices. Walk slowly, walk wisely, and walk in peace. I have not come to promise that you will never face another trial. I have come to remind you that you are no longer the person who can be easily destroyed by trials. The things that once broke you will now become the places where you recognize the strength that has been formed within you. The tears that once made you ashamed will become evidence that your heart still knows how to love. The doors that once closed will help you value the right door when it appears. And when that time comes, you will not need to shout to prove that you were chosen. The way you live, the way you treat others, and the peace upon your face will tell the whole story. I am near you, not to make you dependent upon outward signs, but to help you remember that you have been preserved through every season. Continue walking, because what is opening before you carries not only the name of breakthrough, but also the names of maturity, freedom, and a beginning worthy of the person you have become. You need to understand that what I am preparing is not only meant to change what is happening around you, but also to help you clearly recognize who you are as you walk beneath my guidance. Many people desire only an open door, the disappearance of a difficulty, or an answer to a prayer. Yet they forget the deeper meaning hidden within that answer. I am not merely bringing you out of a narrow circumstance. I am helping you see the sacred imprint placed upon your journey. What is about to appear will become confirmation that the faith you guarded through dark days was never a meaningless choice. The quiet words you whispered, even when they were nothing more than sighs in the stillness of night, were heard by me. Your small and trembling yet sincere steps were never forgotten. I remained near, even when you could not feel me. I continued working even when the surface of your life appeared motionless. And I continued guiding you in silence, even when all you could see ahead was a haze without explanation. You once wondered whether your perseverance would ever produce anything. There were days when you looked at all you had given and felt as though your hands were empty. You tried to live with integrity, patience, kindness, and obedience. Yet the results came more slowly than you expected. In such moments, it was easy to believe that others were advancing while you remained standing in the same place. Yet, beloved, what your eyes cannot see does not mean I am not working. There are seasons when I do not immediately change the scenery because I am first building strength within you. Some things must be prepared in silence, because if they arrived too soon, you might not yet possess the peace required to preserve them. I observed every choice you made, especially the choices no one else knew about, when you refused to answer anger with anger, when you continued doing what was right without recognition, and when you kept moving forward with a burdened heart. Those very moments became the foundation for what is now drawing near. What you call delay is often my loving preparation. While you believed that everything had stopped, I was quietly arranging details you could not control. I was aligning the timing, connecting the right people, removing from your path what no longer belonged to the next stage, and bringing clarity to opportunities that had once been hidden. Part of this preparation requires you to move before you can see the entire road. Faith is not only waiting for an enormous sign before taking action. Faith is also daring to move forward when you have only enough light for the step before you. When you choose action instead of allowing fear to hold you back, you prove that your trust is not limited to words. That obedience is like opening the door from your side so that what I have prepared may enter at the right time and in the right way. Therefore, do not use your present limitations to measure what is coming. Your surroundings may declare that every path has closed. But what appears closed to you cannot obstruct my ways. Others may judge you according to what they have seen in your past. But I see you through the eyes of the one who knows who you are becoming. Their doubts have no authority to set limits upon your future. Your former failures cannot write the new chapter I am opening. The blessing approaching you does not need to obey ordinary human expectations. It may begin through a seemingly ordinary meeting, a sudden idea filled with illumination, an invitation you never expected, or a small change that eventually leads to a spacious path. I can use the simplest things to begin a transformation no one will be able to deny. You may not yet see a clear sign, but that does not mean nothing is moving. Imagine a seed buried deep beneath the soil. For a long time, people see only the still earth and assume that nothing is happening. Yet beneath that silence, the shell is breaking. Roots are searching downward, and a tender shoot is preparing to rise toward the light. Your journey is now in such a season. Necessary connections are being formed. Someone is being prompted to remember you. An opportunity is gradually finding its way toward you. A circumstance that appears to oppose you is actually being turned to serve a greater and more gracious purpose. Do not dig up the seed merely because you have not yet seen it sprout. Impatience may cause you to doubt what is being nurtured, but peace will help you remain long enough to witness the season of growth. I also want you to remember that a miracle is not only received with open hands, it must also be preserved by a mature heart. When what you once prayed for begins to arrive, do not allow joy to make you forget the lessons that taught you how to remain steady. Continue in humility. Continue listening. And continue walking with discernment. Some doors open for you to enter, but other invitations appear only to test whether you still recognize my voice. Do not run after everything that glitters. Choose what produces peace, truth, and lasting good fruit. What comes from me will never require you to surrender your dignity, abandon healthy boundaries, or betray the values planted within you. True favor does not draw you away from me. It makes you more grateful, more gentle, and more willing to use what you have received to strengthen others. My child, the path you chose has never been meaningless. Each time you continued without seeing results, you were building a living testimony of faith. Each time you refused to return to old habits, you declared that the past no longer had authority over you. Each time you rose after disappointment, you moved closer to the person I called you to become. Therefore, stop asking whether I have forgotten you. I have never taken my eyes from you. I know the nights when you remained silent so that you would not trouble anyone. The tears you wiped away before stepping outside, and the times you smiled, even though you were exhausted within. I saw it all, but I did not see only your pain. I also saw the courage growing inside you. Now, allow your heart to become still. Do not force everything to appear according to the way you imagined. Allow me to do something new through methods that move beyond your old patterns. What is approaching will meet you exactly where you are and then lead you, step by step, beyond the limits you once believed could never change. You do not need to understand the entire plan in order to continue. You only need to remain faithful to the next step. Keep your words pure. Guard the peace of your mind, and refuse to turn back because of voices that stir fear. At the proper time, you will look behind you and realize that every delay, every redirection, and every closed door helped bring you to the right place. Be steadfast, beloved, because what I am doing will not only change your circumstances, it will help you recognize that you have always been guided, always been preserved, and never walked alone. You have been protected through many dangers you never even saw. And even on the days when you believed you had been abandoned in loneliness, my hand was quietly guiding you through every step. Some doors closed before you could reach them, because what lay behind them would have harmed you. Certain meetings unexpectedly changed direction. Plans appeared to fail. Journeys were delayed. And you grieved because you could not understand why everything unfolded contrary to your desires. Yet, beloved, many times that very delay was an invisible shield protecting you. Many times, what you called loss was deliverance wrapped in a form you could not yet recognize. I never took my eyes from you. I never turned away when you were weak. And I never left you to face darkness alone. In the moments when you bowed your head from exhaustion, I was the one who lifted you. When you believed you could endure no more, my strength quietly kept you from completely collapsing, even when you were unaware of it. Every breath you took was surrounded by the gentle care I gave you each day. This presence does not merely surround you as protection. It is also becoming deeply woven into your true identity. You are not someone forgotten in a vast world, nor are you a wanderer trying to find your way through your own strength. You belong to a calling higher than what your eyes can presently see. And I have placed within you a source of endurance that even the hardest seasons cannot extinguish. You may have doubted yourself many times because you looked at your failures and concluded that you were weak. But I do not view you through the mistakes of the past. I see what is being formed within you. I see the maturity produced by every tear and the kindness that has remained intact despite all the pain you have endured. True strength does not mean never experiencing sorrow. It means that after everything, you still refuse to allow bitterness to transform your heart. This reveals that my imprint is alive within you, day by day. I continue to nurture what is good in you, quietly, yet steadily, causing it to grow. Therefore, stop believing that you reached this point merely through good fortune. A faithful guidance has followed you through every season, including the seasons in which you felt nothing but silence. I was present in the small decisions you believed were only intuition. I was present in advice that came at the right time from someone you never expected. I was present in the prompting that led you away from a place that was no longer right for you, in the peace that restrained you from reacting when you were misunderstood, and in the endurance that carried you through long days when no one knew how hard you were trying. You do not need to see every intervention in order to believe you were protected. Some of the greatest works are accomplished in silence, without noise or spectacular signs. Yet their result is that you are still standing, still hoping, and still capable of beginning again. Your resilient existence is itself one of the clearest testimonies of the unceasing love I have for you. As this truth sinks more deeply into your mind, the way you enter the future will change. You will no longer strain to become the person others expect you to be. You will no longer need to wear exhausting roles merely to gain recognition. The doors opening before you will not require you to betray your true nature. They will align with the values I planted within you, with the maturity you have gained, and with the purpose you are gradually coming to understand. In the past, you may have entered certain places carrying the fear of rejection, causing you to silence your voice, hide your sensitivity, and try to please everyone. But that season is passing. I am teaching you to walk calmly, knowing who you are without struggling to prove it. When you stop chasing approval, you will begin to recognize the places that truly belong to you. Within that freedom, you will experience a depth of joy you have never known before. Along with new doors, new relationships will also appear. They will not be built upon confusion, manipulation, or empty promises, but upon sincerity, respect, and shared purpose. I will lead people to you who do not require you to lose yourself in order to remain beside them. They will recognize the light within you without attempting to possess it. And they will encourage your dreams instead of making you question your worth. At the same time, you will possess enough wisdom to discern what should remain and what must be released. Not everyone who leaves represents a loss, because sometimes separation is the way I free you from a cycle that has continued for far too long. Do not cling to what survives only because you fear loneliness. When you understand that I am always with you, you will no longer make harmful choices simply because you are afraid to walk part of the road alone. You will learn to cherish relationships that truly nourish your inner life. From this understanding, a new peace will grow within you. It will not depend upon every circumstance being favorable, but will arise from the assurance that you are not walking aimlessly. You will enter situations that once made you anxious with a steadier spirit. You will know when to speak, when to remain silent, when to move forward, and when to wait. Others may call this confidence, but you will understand that its source runs much deeper. It is the result of no longer resisting the true identity I have given you. When you live in alignment with what is right, your heart will no longer be torn between countless voices. You will not need to explain every decision to everyone, because the clarity within you will become a compass, guiding you through unfamiliar crossroads. That peace will become a strong foundation beneath every choice you make. You have been chosen, but not so that you may stand above anyone else. That choosing is an invitation to live responsibly and to use what you have received to bring goodness into the lives of others. I have placed within you something the world needs. It may be a voice that restores hope, a sensitivity that recognizes hidden pain, a perseverance that strengthens someone who is losing courage, or the bravery to do what is right when the majority chooses silence. Do not despise these things simply because they are not loud. A small lamp can still transform an entire dark room. One sincere word can keep a person from giving up. One act of kindness at the proper moment can begin a chain of restoration whose full impact you may never see. Your purpose does not always begin with something spectacular. It is often revealed through the way you remain faithful to the small things directly before you. Each of those small acts is contributing to an influence far greater than you realize. Therefore, you do not need to rush to prove that you are ready. I do not lead you through confusion, nor do I pressure you through panic. What belongs to you will arrive at the proper time, and each necessary step will be revealed when you are steady enough to take it. Allow your impatience to settle, because some things must mature before they can be entrusted to your hands. Delay is not always rejection. Sometimes it is the period in which I am strengthening the foundation so that the blessing may come without causing you to lose direction. You only need to remain faithful to today's step. Do not allow your thoughts to wander too far into what has not yet happened. Tomorrow will carry the light appointed for tomorrow, while today you already possess enough support to complete what has been placed before you. Through each small step, you are drawing closer to to the goodness prepared for you. The uncertainty that once surrounded your life is gradually beginning to fade. You may not yet be able to explain it in words, but within yourself, you have started to recognize that a transition is taking place. The things that once confused you no longer possess the same power. The fears that once controlled your choices are steadily losing their voice. You are learning to recognize the difference between a pure prompting and a reaction born from an old wound. This transformation is real, even though it is unfolding slowly. Do not deny your progress simply because you have not yet reached the destination. Look back and realize that you are no longer the person you were in former years. You now rise more quickly after disappointment. You know how to guard your peace. Forgive without returning to what harmed you. And continue hoping even when the answer has not yet appeared. That perseverance is shaping a stronger version of you. I want you to continue with gentleness toward yourself. You do not need to become perfect before you are worthy of guidance. Nor do you need to know the entire road before you begin. Simply keep your heart upright. Continue listening. And do not return to the things I have already helped you overcome. My presence continues to cover you as it always has. But this time you will recognize it more clearly. You will see traces of me in suitable opportunities, in encounters that bring peace, in wisdom that arrives at the right moment, and in your ability to stand firm before what once made you tremble. You have never been alone. You have not been forgotten. And your future is not drifting through randomness. I am leading you with love, preserving you with power, and drawing you each day closer to the true person you were created to become. This journey will continue to reveal wonders you have never dared to imagine.